All right, well, today we're going to be talking about Unified Service Desk. I'm your presenter, Angelina Jacobs, and I'm one of the senior consultants at CRM Dynamics, located in the Greater Toronto Area in Canada. Feel free to take down my contact information and reach out at any time. I do try to do my best to respond in a timely manner, or I'll forward off to the appropriate team. So please feel free to use that contact method. This webinar is being recorded and will be available shortly after the session. For anyone who hasn't checked out our Learning Academy through our website already, please do so, as there are tons of other past training webinars and videos available there, or you can check out our YouTube channel just by searching CRM Dynamics on YouTube. All right, on to the fun stuff. Unified Service Desk, or USD, as you're going to hear me refer to it, just because it's a bit shorter. Today we'll be going over a basic introduction to USD and how it works with Dynamics 365. I'll also go over some call center challenges and how USD can help. Lastly, we'll jump into a demo where I'll give a preview of what USD can look like, how an agent may use it, and where in the CRM it can be configured. So, what is USD and why is it important? Well, it's an agent desktop that provides an enhancement mainly to the sales and service modules of your Dynamics 365 CRM. It provides a multi-channel and multi-workload capability, which can be extremely useful to call center type departments. It's also centrally configured and managed from within your Dynamics 365 system. So similar to how you would customize your CRM, it's a very similar area, which I'll show you later in the demo of how you can configure USD. USD has a capability of bringing multiple apps together in one unified agent desktop. So that can really streamline and improve the the contact center experience. It can be the tool that allows agents to serve their customers with what they need, when they need it, how they need it, and in a timely fashion. So let's go over some of the call center challenges before we address some of the key features in USD and how they address them. First and foremost, call centers are expected to do more with fewer resources, so they do more with less. They're always looking for ways to increase productivity as well as decrease average time to handle customers. These organizations have also become multi-channel customer interaction centers. So it's not just the phone calls and emails anymore, but it's things like chat, text message, social channels, self-service websites, and so on. Moreover, agents are expected to handle multiple customer interactions at the same time. So they're not just talking to one customer, they could be talking to 5 different ones, maybe on chat or through a social channel. When there are too many line of business applications, so the LOB applications I mentioned in the slide, they can be difficult to interact with and manage. So the agent's efficiency goes down, it can affect customer experience, and if you have multiple line of business applications, it can increase the training costs for agents if they need to learn how to handle those multiple applications during that customer interaction. Now, what are some of the key features of USD that also help address those challenges? Sorry, I went backwards there. Here we go. So application integration is a big one. This can eliminate the need to launch additional programs on an agent's desktop and toggle back and forth as it can launch from within USD and the current customer session that the agent is on. Configurability. So being able to quickly configure a highly customized agent application per your company's organization's requirements without using code. There could be the small need for JavaScript, but for the most part, don't need the code. I will mention though, just with that it can still require an administrator who's had some experience working with different configurations and analyzing the results. So not only that, someone who's maybe a little more tech savvy or quick learner. Session management just refers to the capabilities that agents can have multiple sessions going at the same time and still preserve contextual information in each session. So there's no possibility of error of, maybe referencing someone else's customer information while talking to someone else, because the sessions contain that within. There's also support for computer telephone integration, so tying into your phone system, having things like screen pops for answering calls, and pulling up matching customer information if it finds anything based on the phone number. Agent scripts, as you'll see in the upcoming demo, can provide guidance as well as trigger action items and other processes. And of course, can't forget to mention the whole 360-degree view of the customer. All right, let's dive in. I'm going to open up my unified service desk. This is the desktop piece of it, and then I will show the configuration error within your CRM. So this is like launching any other software on a computer. So I'm launching it from my personal one here, but the installation of it and all that can be pushed from your IT department. You'll notice here is my landing page or my home page. So for this preview, it's going to be a little more service oriented, but I did mention it can support the sales modules as well. So anyone from your outbound, inbound sales agents. So very similar in that fashion. One thing I will mention is what we're going to be looking at today is based off a Microsoft preview package. And the reason I say that is that, one, not everything's going to be configured fully, so it's just some small pieces to include in a USD demo. And this isn't the way that your USD would have to look and feel and work if you were to go ahead and configure one. So the main point being, USD is so configurable that it's the organization that can say, what needs to be shown on a login, how sessions work. If people are clicking certain things within an agent script, what happens? So it's so customizable that this demo is really just to show you what possibility there could be, but just know that there's so much more. And if you ever do want to play around with it similar to how I am right now, you can hook it up even into a trial or demo CRM instance, and that way you're not affecting your own organization's production CRM. Also depends on the security role if you can install that. Any questions on the installations and so forth, feel free to send me an email. It can just be a bit too in-depth for the webinar today. So I'm on my customer service representative dashboard here. You'll see I've got some pretty charts. I've got some notifications here where I can see I have some tasks to do, but you'll also you'll also see down here I have my activities grid, which is some of the upcoming activities that are due from tasks, appointments booked, and phone calls. Up here in the top ribbon, there's a few buttons that I will mention. The dashboard, again, this just refers to the dashboard and it pulls from your CRM system. These buttons here are configurable as well, so you can add in, take out, and have them do their own custom action. The My Work just refers to another dashboard that would be specific to me. The search bar we will go into, and that's like your global search within CRM. The reminders here is actually quite handy because if I'm in my USD and I'm talking to clients, I'm doing my work, finishing things off, and I have a task or phone call reminder that is due today, it will pop up similar to how your Outlook tasks pop up to remind you that that is due or coming due. So it acts very similar to your Outlook. Again, another configurable piece that you can add in, but you don't have to. The applications drop down here is just to point out that it does integrate with third-party software, which can be launched from the system, so I will show that as well. Over on the left side here, I just want to point out, if I expand this, it's going to be blank. Oh, actually, it's got my KB search, but sometimes this can hold your live chat, let's say, or your phone screen pop, and it can reside here on the left or the right, depends where you want to put it. But this could be the error that when a phone call comes into the agent, it pops up here, saying answer, and would look into the system based on whatever matching criteria you give it to pull up the corresponding account or contact. So just know that it's not just this middle screen, there's actually a left and right side expansion available. I'm just going to close that for now. So I'm going to go through this and manually search for a contact, but you can also pretend that maybe they called in and it found a match based on the phone number. I'm going to use the search here. And this is just bringing up the similar global search that's available in your Dynamics 365. So I'm going to go search for Nancy. You'll see here it's searched multiple entities. So I've got a contact and a lead attached to a Nancy. You can also filter if I just wanted to search accounts, contacts, and so forth. So let's just say I wanted to go contacts, and it gives me Nancy Anderson. I'm going to click this open, and you'll notice that I've started a new session. So up here is my contact name, and this signifies that I have a session going within here. You could have multiple sessions. Let's say I was an agent who handles chat, so I could have multiple tabs up here with the different chats. And within each session, I would have most likely on the left here, my chat window that shows what we're talking about. So that's what I was mentioning when it preserves contextual information in each session. So I don't have to jump from one window to the next and possibly, confuse two people that I'm talking to. Another nice thing to note here is this little pop-up. So see how it says ask for upgrade? Again, these are things you can add in, and it's just based on some filter criteria based on the contact I opened. It's just kind of prompting me that, oh, it's saying she's a brown customer. Do you want to upgrade? If I go yes, it can open up something like a lead or an opportunity or a quote. And again, using the CRM system. It also has a countdown, so it will disappear. But for now, I'm just going to go no. So again, it's just showing you the possibilities of what you can add in USD. That's not necessary. In the middle here, hopefully this looks familiar to most of you. This is a CRM screen. So I'm in the contact right now. I have the contact tab within here, which is within my current session. I'll also move to the bottom left here, and you'll see there's some additional information specific to me as an agent. So it has average case resolution time, and it's in seconds. I've got number of cases resolved. I only have a piddly 4. And then you can add in things like the customer satisfaction, and then this nice timer here, which shows my session time. And based on the KPIs or SLAs that you put in here, these things can change. And you'll notice that I think it was after 1 minute, it could have been 2, but this turned to red. So it's just checking what my average response time should be, and it's warning me that I've gone over it. Most likely, if I haven't done something within the first minute, it's kind of warning me to say, hey, you have a session open, let's do something. So for now, it will stay red, but again, that's just based on the criteria that's in the system. So let's look at the left panel here. All these areas are configurable. So again, you don't have to have these in here, but they're nice to haves. I have some general information here just based on the contact that I opened, email, phone, and so forth. This is configurable as well, so you can add in more information such as the company they work at and maybe any other company details. Moving on is the call script. So these are the agent scripts that you can configure into the system. Right now you'll see I'm on the welcome to contact session. If I had multiple, they'd be available in this drop-down. And this call script can change based on the type of session I've opened. It's launching the contact session because I've opened a contact. But let's say I open an account, so a company record, it could actually have a company session launch here. It provides some nice script just for, as the agent, I can read while on the phone, let's say, with Nancy. So, welcome, Nancy. Thank you for contacting Woodgrove Bank. My name is Angelina. How can I help you today? And I'll just point out here, I have two options that refer to service requests. So again, it's just because it's a very service-oriented demo. So Nancy calls in, says, I'm having an issue. I'd like to open up a support ticket. And then I can click here, new service request, and this will trigger kind of another branch to my call script. So because I click that button, the system knows that I'm now going into this new service request for contact script. And I've got a couple options here. Sometimes these things can just be notes for the agent as a form of guidance of what they should do, or similar to what just happened previously, they can be action items that actually trigger something to happen and move me through the system. So for this one, it says just verified customer info. Now, this demo, I'm in a bank, so you'll notice verified customer info launched this other screen. And it says customer information system, it's got some financial data down here. This here is accessing a third-party application. So instead of me having to go in and launch that from my computer and go in and type Nancy's name in again, USD has actually used the information I have right now and opened up the related record in that third-party application. So it's very cool, very neat for the agent to do that within the session they're in right now in USD and to continue from there. So I've verified customer info, and then I can move on to the next step in my case. You can leave these tabs open or toggle back and forth. So I can go back to Nancy or go back to here, so it's always available within this session. And I'm going to create a case. So again, you'll see this now launches my case CRM form here. Pretty basic case form, but it will show if you have a business process set up, and then all the fields available down here. So I'm just going to fill in some sample information. So let's just say issue with fees, and I'll put in just that it's a service call. I can put in the origin if I'm manually doing this, but let's say I'm in a call center where all I handle are tech support calls, and if it's a phone call that comes in, the system can auto-generate this to phone. So again, possibilities are there. And then there's a bunch of other fields that we won't have to fill in for this. And then I can save it. So similar to CRM, I've got my save down here, or you can use your keyboard shortcuts like Control-S. So it's very similar to the web browser. Because I opened a case in this demo, it's also configured to open my knowledge base article search on the right here. And what this does is it allows your agents to maybe search through some standard documentation that they either can refer to help the client, or that they can actually email to the client as a helpful documentation or a link to it. So in this case, I maybe don't have anything that's related to issue with fees, but most standard ones maybe are damaged products or haven't received shipping. So those can be some standard articles that you have available to your agents, and it will search based off your case titles to bring that up for you, or you can manually search it. So again, these are just pulling in pieces and functionality from your already existing CRM system. Now I'm just going to go back to the agent script here on the left, and you'll see I have a couple other tasks that I can work through. Search for solution. This actually launches two things. So you'll see it opens up my article in a separate window if I maybe want to have this open on a second monitor. Sorry, I just closed that down. So I could have this open on a second monitor as reference, while also in the background doing an online search. So you'll see here it also opened Bing, you can open Google, whatever it is your preference, and do some search online as well. And again, all within the same session that's relating to Nancy up here. And I can have this going on for 5 other people that I'm talking to. Most likely not if I'm on the phone, but if you were on chat or web forums or social channels. Okay, just going to exit that. And I'm back into my case form. If I did find an article that was helpful to the client and I was going to email it to him, you can do it from here as well as over here from the script. So this service request script allows me to send an email, so I'm going to click that, and it pops open the email portion of your CRM. It's pulled in my agent information and, of course, the contact I'm speaking with. And then I can choose to insert a template. So again, these would be already configured templates available to the agents. So I'm going to insert a template. It just verifies that I'm sending to the right people and what it's regarding. So issue with fees being the case title. And then I have some templates available here that I can use. Okay. And then I could send it away, and it would send from USD, but in the same fashion that it sends out of your CRM system. So it would be using my Exchange, my Office 365. I'm not going to send Nancy an email, so I'm going to exit that. You don't have to go through all these actions within the call scripts. So, this could just be a reminder to me to update notes. If I haven't already, I can click it if I want, just to say, yeah, I did that. And then resolve the case and close the session. Most likely you want to stay in line with the steps here because I don't want to close the session without resolving my case and closing that out. So you'll see here when I go to resolve case, it's going to refresh for me. And there we go, my case is resolved. So this will reflect in any dashboards, any other views. If management only accesses the CRM through the web client, it will see that. So again, it's showing it in USD, but it's to your CRM database. So it will reflect online as well. So I'm done with this case. I can either close the session up here or just continue using my script that's configured to do that for me. It closes the session, and it brings me back to the home page I've set for myself. Okay. You'll notice at the bottom in these little gray areas where it used to have the session timer, it still keeps the other KPIs, but no session timer anymore because I don't have a session open. Now you can launch, even without being in a session, you can launch the other third-party applications if you'd like and use what's configured within, or you can open up another session. So the one other thing I want to show you is I'm going to go through a manual search again. If you have telephone integration, chat integration, it can find related records based on any matching criteria you put in. But let's say I'm going to go back to Nancy. She called back. And I'm back into this session with my contact session script. I've got my little pop-up reminder. Don't necessarily need to do anything with that, so I'm just going to go no. And before I get into any of the other scripts, maybe I just want to see where she's located. So I can see I have an address down here based on this CRM form. It's using Bing Maps. But just to show you the additional third-party applications, I'm going to use this locate the customer. So it launches that based on the session I'm currently in and takes the address information from that record I have open. It's a bit slower today. Maybe that's a Bing thing, I don't know. And there we go. And it'll show me where it is on the map, maybe some other things found at this address. This is also where CRM Dynamics is located if anyone is interested. And then you have some other options available to you here. And when I'm done, I can just close that out and I'm back into the contact. So it's really just to show you that you can launch these other third-party applications, whatever they may be, whether it's financial application, a map, maybe some other field service type applications within the same session. And let's say I don't actually have to do anything further with Nancy. It was just a confirmation call, or she called back and then realized she didn't, or she found whatever she needed. I don't have to then do any action items, and I can just close the session. When I close the session, the information that's on the bottom here will still be tied to me as a user. So my session timer will still be part of my average handle time if management is interested in seeing that. So I can just close it from here. I don't have to do anything else. And again, I'm back at my homepage dashboard. Okay. So this is the agent desktop piece of it. Very basic preview. It can do a whole lot more based on your organization's needs and requirements. And I'll jump into the CRM system to show you where that can be configured. So I'm going to go into my online web client here. So notice I'm on that same dashboard that I was in my unified service desk. So it's just to show that it's pulling from the existing CRM. So I don't do dashboard configuration in here. I just point it to where it needs to pull that information, which is this dashboard here. So you're still doing all your customizations within CRM. So for Unified Service Desk, it is in the settings area. So again, depending on security role, you may not have access to this. And it depends if the Unified Service Desk solution has been installed, but that's a pretty easy step. Again, you can feel free to reach out to me and I can give you a quick sample, especially if you want to play around with a trial instance. Over in settings, I have Unified Service Desk over here. And I'm on my settings page for that. So it would be very time consuming to jump into all these different areas, but by all means, there is online documentation available and walkthroughs from Microsoft. A couple things I will point out, agent scripts. So I can go right in here. I can edit existing ones. I can create new ones. Just expand this so you know. So see how there's a bunch of different ones here, and I had that new service request for contact in the demo. It's right in here. So opening this up, it can be a bit complex at first glance, but the more you do it, the more practice you are, it actually becomes pretty easy. And you'll see here that this is kind of the holding cell for this agent script, and then under here I've got all my action items, the order that they need to be in when that script is launched, and then within each of these, I can have actions and triggers happening. So it's laid out quite well. I can go back into my Unified Service Desk, and you'll see there's toolbars. So those are like those buttons that I was showing you in the ribbon and what action items they would execute. So some of this language in here may not be maybe new to you, or sorry, yes, it may be new to you, but as it relates to Unified Service Desk, it's very easy to refer to the Microsoft documentation online to learn what each of these means and how they work together to create that customized Unified Service Desk agent desktop software. So it's a very basic, kind of high-level USD overview today. It can get really detailed, especially for more admin levels, but it's just to give you a taste of the type of things it can handle, how it can address a lot of those call center challenges, and how it can really bring together not just your CRM information, but your other applications that agents may need to use into one unified area for that agent.